So with one out, Cheerio bounces out on a 4-3 put out to second base. And now up comes Mitchell. Mitchell hitting .257, 8 home runs and 50 ribbies. Standing in there now against Roki. Hitting from the left-hand side of the plate. The pitch on the way, and it's taken for, whoa, a ball. A slider. Looked like a strike to me. Umpire doesn't agree. In fact, the ABS does show it as a strike. So Dodgers miss a strike there. The count is now 1-0. Pitch is way outside. Now that's a ball. Fastball, 98 mile an hour fastball. The count is now 2-0. We're underway here in what figures to be a playoff preview. It was the championship game last year, the series, and now they're out it again. Swung on. There's a little ground ball. So quickly out of the box, Rovert goes up and tags out Mitchell while still in the box as an out. Heads up play by Rovert for the second out. So 2 outs, and up comes Sanchez. Roki has now thrown 8 pitches, and he's got 2 outs. Pitch on the way is way inside, a fastball, 98 mile an hour fastball for ball 1. Pitch is swung on and missed on the slider, and now there's 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 ball, 1 strike to Sanchez. No outs, just the 2 outs. No score, just the start of things. Nobody on. As Roki looks down to Rovert behind the plate and delivers. The 1-1 pitch is taken for called strike 2, a 98 mile an hour fastball. The count is now 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody on. The top of the first, the pitch is way low, a splitter. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Sanchez hitting .230, 10 home runs and 29 ribbies. This figures to be a playoff preview. Pitch on the way, swung on and fouled back and out of play. And the 99 mile an hour fastball, high and tight by Roki. Two balls, 2 strikes. Pitch on the way. Taken low on a slider, 89 mile an hour slider. Now the count is full. So Roki had 8 pitches and 2 outs. He's suddenly got 14 pitches thrown and still the same 2 outs. Trying to get that final third out here. 3-2 pitch. Just a little outside. They're going to punch him out. That looked like it was ball 4. And let's see. They're doing the ABS, and the Brewers will win it. The challenge, and off to first base he goes. So, well, the umpire punched him out. They went to ABS, and that backed up Sanchez's claim, and it's ball 4. So Roki, March, he had a 3.8 from March to June. July to currently a 2.7 ERA. So he has drastically improved in that department. First pitch to Bowers, swung on and missed. A slider. 2 outs, 1 on this season in 108 games. Bowers hitting .268, 21 home runs and 67 ribbies. The 0-1 pitch on the way is low and in the dirt. Nice stop by Rovert behind the plate, preventing that from going to the backstop. So 1-1 the count. Jake Bowers hanging tough, count 1-1. Roki's now thrown 17 pitches. Pitch on the way, there's a little weak ground ball hit sharply down to Kike. Underhands it across to Rojas at second base, and for the forced putout, that is it. It'll be a 6-4 force out, and the score after half an inning, Milwaukee 0, Dodgers coming up. So for the Dodgers, setting the lineup, they have Teoscar in left, Pages in center, and Tucker in right. That's been their traditionally full-time lineup. And the infield, 2 changes in the infield today. They got Kike at third, Muncy taking a breather, Rojas at short, Betts taking a breather, Edman at second, Freeman at first, Rovart behind the plate, Fiducia taking a breather, and on the mound is Roki. That's how the Dodgers line up defensively. A look at the Brewers. You got Churro in left, Mitchell in center, Bowers in right. At third base is Vaughn, shortstop Ortiz, second base Hamilton, first base Sanchez, behind the plate is Contreras, and on the mound Rohan. Yelich is the DH for the Brewers. So now that all the lineups have been set, let's look at how the Dodgers will come up to the plate. Leading off is Ohtani, followed by Pages, Edman, Freeman, Hernandez, that's Teoscar, Rojas, Tucker, Kike, and Rovert, the catcher. So that's how the Dodgers come out, 1 through 9. And it'll be Ohtani first up to take his chances at Shane Drohan, who's got a 6.4 record with an ERA of 3.87. The pitch on the way to Roki and on to Shohei is outside. Fastball for ball 1. Ohtani in 115 games, hitting .292, 27 ribbies, and 74 ribbies and 27 home runs. He had his 27th home run last night, a 2-run shot that put the Dodgers in the lead against the Royals, and they didn't look back. The 2-0 pitch on the way to Ohtani's way low for ball 3 on the sinker. Suddenly, Ohtani's 1 ball away from being awarded first base. Let's see if he can resist swinging here. Pitch on the way is for a strike. So now it's 3 balls and 1 strike to Ohtani. There's a shot, a high fly ball and deep back. It's going to bounce off the wall left center field. Mitchell's going to pick it up and throw it in, and Ohtani slides into second base with a leadoff double. So just a couple of more feet and that ball clears the wall. Let's see if the Dodgers can, that hit right square in the middle of the wall, dead center field. Let's see if the Dodgers can bring Ohtani on home, and up comes Pages to the plate. So we've already got action here in the 5th pitch thrown in this game to Ohtani to dead center field. He's on with a double. Okay, Ohtani away now from second base. The windup and the pitch on the way to Pages is taken for called strike 1 on a curveball, 81-mile-an-hour curveball. This season, Pages in 120 games, hitting .270, 19 home runs, and 76 ribbies. Ohtani way from second base. The pitch swung way outside of the strike zone on the fastball. So Pages now up there with an 0-2 count. Let's see how he's going to play this. Drohan checks Ohtani over at second. Long wait. And the 0-2 pitch. Way high and outside. Nice catch by Contreras behind the plate. Otherwise, that goes all the way to the backstop, and Ohtani's at third. So the count is now 1-2 to Pages. Drohan again with a long look. Stretch pitch is high fly ball out to right field. Bowers will make the catch. Ohtani will fake going to third and think otherwise, head back to second base. So with one out, one on, up comes Tommy Edman. Tommy Edman coming up this season in 45 games, hitting .275, 3 home runs and 22 ribbies. Pitch is way inside and the cutter for ball one. Drohan, 1-0 count. Pitch is swung on and missed on the curveball by Edman. Waiting on deck, Freddie Freeman. 1-1 the count to Edman. Welcome in, JT. Good to see you back. Doran with an ERA of 3.87 and a whip of 1.2473. Brought to you by JT. Thank you so much, JT, in the chat. We got a 1-1 count to Edman, and the pitch on the way is taken for a strike on the slider. So now the count is 1-2. Ohtani got a leadoff double. Pages made out, and now Edman is up there trying to bring home Ohtani. There's a swing and a foul ball. It'll go back up into the, hit the netting and come back in foul territory. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Just the start of things here. Waiting on deck is Freddie Freeman, who had a very near catastrophe last night, falling in the dugout of the Royals. Could have been seriously injured. He's okay and no worse for the wear. He'll have tomorrow off. The pitch on the way is a curveball taken for ball 2. So Dave Roberts puts him in the lineup tonight, and his scheduled day off will be tomorrow. So the count is now 2-2 to Tommy Edman. 1 out, 1 on. The pitch, there's a foul ball. Tommy Edman hanging tough up there. The count remaining 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes to Tommy Edman. Two pitch is taken for called strike 3 on the fastball. 96-mile-an-hour fastball sits down Tommy Edman, and now the Brewers have 2 outs. Don't tell me the Dodgers are going to waste a leadoff double by Ohtani. And now Freddie Freeman comes up to the plate, trying to bring him home. Let's see if he can do it. The pitch to Freeman is taken right down the middle for a strike on the fastball. Oh, and 1 the count to Freeman. The pitch taken for strike 2 on the cutter. Suddenly, Dodgers backs her to the wall. 0-2 count to Freeman. Ohtani on second, about to waste a leadoff double. We're in the first inning, no score. Pitchers, a little ground ball hit sharply down to the third baseman, Vaughn, who throws the long way over to Sanchez for the out. The 5-3 put out, and just like that, the Brewers are out of the inning. The score after 1 complete inning in Los Angeles, Dodgers 0, Brewers 0. So the Dodgers waste a leadoff double. Keep that in mind. Let's see if this is going to be one of those games so they leave a lot of guys on base. So the best pitcher is Mizorowski with an ERA of whip of 1.76, a whip of actually a .7368, an ERA of 1.76. How is that for a comparison? Very interesting. I could see the difference there on the ERA. Big difference on that, as well as the whip. Thank you once again, JT, helping us out with stats here in the chat. The poll is up. If you get a chance, vote who will win today's game. Thank you. So for the Brewers, they'll be coming up will be Vaughn, Yelich, the DH, and Contreras, the catcher. Those will be the first three hitters coming up for the Brewers. And if anybody gets on, Ortiz. Roki threw 18 pitches in that first inning. He was cruising along. He had only thrown 8 pitches, had 2 outs, and then he went on to pitch 11 more pitches at finish with 19 pitches in that first inning. Okay, so Roki ready to go on top of the mound now. Vaughn, third baseman, checking in and ready to go to work. Pitch is taken inside, a splitter for ball 1. Count is now 1-0. This season in 76 games, Vaughn hitting .295, 5 home runs and 34 ribbies. The 1-0 pitch taken for called strike 1 on the forkball, 87-mile-an-hour forkball. Andrew Vaughn has a 1-1 count. The pitch is way outside, a splitter for ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. Two and 1 the count to Vaughn. Nobody out. Start of the second inning. Pitch bounces in the dirt, comes up, hits Rover in the mask. And Roki almost fell out of his shoes on the mound. A bad landing, slipped. So just about what could go wrong, everything did go wrong on that pitch by Roki. Fortunate he didn't sprain an ankle or anything else happen there. Shows you just how important everything is. If the landing is off, the pitch is off, and you have what you just had right there. So 3 balls and 1 strike to Vaughn. 3-1 pitch. There's a shot hit into center field for a base hit. Paez picks it up, and Vaughn is aboard with a leadoff single to start the second inning. So Vaughn swinging at a pitch just out of the strike zone, high riding pitch, and drives it into center field for a base hit. And up comes the designated hitter, Yelich, hitting .231 on the year, 8 home runs and 40 ribbies. Pitch is low, fastball, 97-mile-an-hour fastball for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Waiting on deck is Contreras, the catcher. 1 on, no outs. We're in the second inning with no score. Swung on and fouled away on the fastball. Count is now 1-1. These two teams will be at it for 3 more games after tonight. A big 4-game homestand for the series here. There's a ground ball hit sharply to Freeman. He goes a long way over to Rojas. He catches and drops it on the throw. So that'll be recorded as a fielder's choice. 3-6. And Yelich is aboard on the fielder's choice. And Vaughn is out. So now with 1 out, 1 on, up comes Contreras. Rocky's pitch is taken for called strike one on the fastball. Welcome back, Braxton. Good to see you back. You were the most asked guy, where's Braxton, in that last series. Contreras has an 0-1 count. The pitch swung on and a high fly ball. Pages coming up in center field to look and get under it and make the catch for 1 out. Hang in there, Braxton. It'll be a long series here. We're early on in this game 1 of a 4-game series. Up comes Ortiz, hitting 90 in 98 games, hitting .241, 5 home runs and 29 ribbies. We got 2 outs now in the second inning. Pitcher's a little ground ball hit sharply down to Edman. He gloves it, throws over to Freddie Freeman for the out, and that'll do it. 4-3 putouts recorded, and the score after an inning and a half: Dodgers 0, Brewers 0. And coming up for the Dodgers, it'll be Teoscar, Rojas, and Tucker. So you're right, Braxton. They made that series a little bit tougher than it should have been with the Royals. They should have blown them out like they did the Angels. Remember earlier in the year when the Dodgers went to Angel Stadium and just waxed them for 3 games? That's what the Dodgers should have done, but hopefully now they're getting right back on the right track. They swept that series as they should have, and let's see what they do now in this. We got the looking at the standings. Just to let you know, Brewers are 74-47. The Dodgers are 73-48. So by the end of this series, if the Dodgers sweep them, they'll start to make distance from the Brewers. And another team that has 74 wins, don't sleep on the Rays. Well, actually, yeah, the Rays in the American League, 74 wins and 46 losses. But as far as the National League goes, this is the team, the Braves, also with 73-48. So all 3 divisions in the National League have 2 of the division leaders with 73 wins, the Dodgers and the Braves, and the Brewers with 74 in the Central standing alone. Okay, now that the standings have been spoken, it'll be Teoscar ready to hop in there and face Drohan. Pitch is taken for strike one. Braxton, when you were away, James popped by, the Cubs fan, heckling the Dodgers when they were losing. And then once the Dodgers started winning, he disappeared. Pitches, there's a ground ball hit sharply into center field for a base hit by Teoscar, and he's aboard. And so the leadoff guy for the Dodgers is on again. They wasted a double by Ohtani in the first inning. Let's see if they can bring home Teoscar in this inning. Up comes Rojas. This season in 77 games, hitting .289, 3 home runs and 18 ribbies. He's got 1 for 2, a double, a run, a walk last night, so he was busy at the plate. Pitch is taken for a curveball for strike one. So 0-1 the count to Rojas. Pitches out of the strike zone, fouled away. A fastball. Count is now 0-2. The pitch 0-2 is way outside a slider. It's now 1-2. Rojas hitting .330 against left-handers this season, and he's facing a lefty now. Let's see what he can do. Pitches a little ground ball, hit sharply down to the second baseman. Ortiz throws across to Hamilton and down to Sanchez for the double play. So that dreaded stinking double play, it pops its ugly head once again against the Dodgers. That'll be a 6-4-3 double play. Ortiz to Hamilton to Sanchez, and just like that, there's 2 outs, and up comes Kyle Tucker to the plate. This season, Tucker in 114 games, hitting .239, 11 home runs, and 54 ribbies. Sinker is fouled away, and the count is now 0-1 to Tucker. Pitch is low and outside on the slider, missing. It's now 1-1 to Tucker. We're in the second inning, no score. 2 outs for the Dodgers. And the 1-1 pitch on the way is swung on and fouled back and out of play. 1-2 the count. A plea from Braxton for the Dodgers to please don't lose against the Brewers. Please play your A+ game. Let's see what they can do. Pitches in the dirt. 2-2. Two and two the count. The pitch is in the dirt. Slider for ball 3, 3-2. Yeah, Braxton James came in when the Dodgers were losing and the Cubs won. And then the next night when the Cubs lost and the Dodgers were winning, he was nowhere to be found. So 3-2 the count to Tucker. 2 outs. We're in the second inning. No score in this game. What you gonna do? Tucker swung on and fouled away on the slider. Count remains 3-2. Three and two, swung on and missed, and down goes Tucker. He slams his bat down in disgust, and that'll do it for the Dodgers in the second inning. The score after 2 complete in Los Angeles, Dodgers 0, Brewers 0, and up for the Brewers comes Hamilton, and then the top of the order, Cheerio, and then Mitchell, the center fielder. So 30 minutes into this game, and we've done 2 innings. Kind of slow moving when you consider no score. Okay, so tomorrow night's game will be a Friday night, same time, same start, 7:10 start in Los Angeles, 9:10 start if you're in Milwaukee. So as we move to the top of the third inning, Up comes Hamilton, facing Roki in a scoreless game. The pitch is high for ball one. Hamilton hitting .231, 3 home runs and 16 ribbies this year. The pitch is still a little tap number foul along the front of the Brewer dugout. The count is now 1-1. This season in 90 games, Hamilton hitting .231, 3 home runs, 16 ribbies, but he's got 22 stolen bases. So beware if he gets on base. Swung on and missed on the splitter. Count is now 1-2. Hamilton 11 bunt hits this season, tied for most in Major League Baseball. So goes to, you put the bats, the stolen bases along with the bunt hits, tells you he's a really fast runner. That's the thing that they're saying in those two stats. The 1-2 pitch, swung on and fouled away. Roki's now thrown 33 pitches as we're early on in the third inning, averaging 15 pitches an inning. The pitch swung on and fouled back and out of play on the slider, and the count remains 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes to Hamilton. No outs. We're in the third inning. There's a little ground ball hit sharply down to Edmund. Backs up, throws over to Freeman for out number 1. 4-3 put out. One out, we're in the third inning. Pitch is low. Yeah, to avoid the double plays, I hope they increase the base stealing. Yeah, that's a good thought there. JT didn't think of that. They got to do something. Freddie Freeman leads the league with 18 double plays. There's a pitch fouled away. It's now 1-1 count to Churio. He's 0 for 1. Dodgers definitely got to do something to avoid those double plays. They've been hitting in too many of them this year. Pitch is a strike, fastball, 98 mile an hour fastball. The count is now 1-2. The 1-2 pitch is way out of the strike zone, just about bounces up to the plate, and a slider, and it's now a 2-2 count. Two and 2 count to Churio. Pitch again bounces and goes all the way to the backstop on the splitter, 92 mile an hour splitter. So something along that pitch, the way he's releasing it or something's causing them both to bounce. He's got to keep that splitter out of his repertoire if he has anybody on base, since it is getting a little wild this early on. The 3-2 pitch on the way, swung on and fouled back and out of play. Count remains 3-2 on a 100 mile an hour fastball. Roki can bring it to the plate. Three-two pitch is what? Taken low for ball 4. And Churio's aboard with a walk. One on, one out. Rocky's now thrown 42 pitches, and the Dodgers got to get a double play of their own right here. Here's a pitch low, but it's called strike one on the fastball. Mitchell to the plate, grounded out 0 for 1 in his first plate appearance. Center fielder Mitchell making a nice play in that Ohtani double. There's a high fly ball. Back goes Paez in front of the warning track. He'll make the catch. Out number 2, and running back to first base is Chourio. Chourio, another Venezuelan at first base. 6'1", 199-pounder. And up comes Sanchez to the plate. Pitch is low for ball 1 on the slider. Roki throws over to first base. Chourio diving back. The 0-1 pitch to Sanchez. There it goes down. Chourio, the throw down the tag. It got him at second base. What a nice throw and tag by Rovert to Edman, as he got him diving head first. And in fact, what a nice tag right on the shoulder before his hand could even reach the base. And that'll do it for the Brewers in the top of the third. The score after 2.5 innings, Brewers 0, Dodgers 0. So for the Dodgers, leading off will be Kike. And then Rovert, and then the top of the order, Ohtani. So those will be the first 3 hitters if anybody gets on. Paez. No score. 2.5 innings have been played, and this is very much like a playoff game. Kind of 2 big heavyweights kind of feeling each other out. Reggie Smith, Legends of Baseball bobblehead, August 15th. Reggie Smith bobblehead swung on and missed by Kike. The count is now 0-1, just the start of the bottom of the third. Kike in 11 games, hitting .286, 1 home run and 2 ribbies. Next pitch is a cutter right down the middle for strike 2. And the count is now 0-2. The count. The pitch is high. They're going to check over at third, half swing, and that'll do it for Kike. Strikeout. So Kike punched out on strikes, tried to hold back on a fastball that was out of the strike zone, but the third base umpire said, nope, you won a round. Okay, up comes Rovert, who made a spectacular throw to nail Contreras, stealing second base. So the pitch was a ball one to Robert. The pitch on the way is swung on, a high fly ball. Mitchell coming in quickly, but out goes a shortstop, Ortiz, to make the catch. So there's 2 outs now. And up comes Shohei Ohtani. Shohei 1 for 1 with that hit, that double, leading off with the double, and the Dodgers left him stranded at second base. Pitch to Shohei's a sinker for ball 1. Two outs. We're in the 3rd inning. No score. Pitch is swung on and missed by Shohei on the slider. Count is now 1-1. A beautiful sunset over Dodger Stadium tonight. Pitch is taken for a strike, 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes to Ohtani. We're in the bottom of the 3rd inning, no score. The pitch swung on and missed. Down he goes on strikes. And that'll do it for the Dodgers. The score after 3 complete, Brewers 0, Dodgers 0. And up for the Brewers comes Sanchez, Bowers, and Vaughn as we move to the top of the 4th inning. With that, I'm going to take a 2-minute break and be right back. Okay, so as we move to the top of the 4th inning, looking at Roque, he's thrown 47 pitches, 3 innings. He doesn't have any strikeouts and no walks. Actually, 2 walks Roque's given up. 2 walks, no strikeouts. He's only given up 1 hit. Meanwhile, his counterpart, Johan, on the other side, has given up 2 hits, 4 strikeouts, and no walks. Okay, back to live action. Pitches strike 1 to Sanchez. Next pitch high out of the strike zone, but a big swing and a miss, and the count is now 0-2. Sanchez walked in his first plate appearance. Roque's now thrown 48 pitches. The 0-2 pitch high again on the fastball. This time Sanchez doesn't bite, and the count is now 1-2. The 1-2 pitch swung on, and there's a little ground ball base hit whacked into center field, and Pages is aboard. Starting pitcher Ohtani, starting pitchers this season, 47 and 29, ranked first in baseball to the Dodgers. So Roki's thrown 50 pitches. We're in the fourth inning, nobody out, and he's got one on. The pitch is way outside. 98-mile-an-hour fastball for ball one. Bowers to the plate. Pitch to Bowers is taken outside on the slider for ball two. Two and oh the count to Bowers. One on, no score. We're in the fourth inning. No outs. The pitch is fastball for strike one. It's now 2-1 to Bowers. Waiting on deck is Vaughn. Pitch is splitter low. Now the count is 3-1. Three and one the count to Bowers. Nobody out, one on. And the 3-1 pitch is a high fly ball. Hit out there is Teoscar in left. He's waiting, he's under it. He's got it for out number one. And back to first goes Sanchez. And up comes Vaughn, the third baseman. Andrew Vaughn, 1 for 1, singled in his first time up. Pitch is taken right down the middle for a strike. Count is now 0-1. ERA leaders. Turk Skubal with a 2.49 leads baseball. Pitch is taken low, 85-mile-an-hour slider, and the count is now 1-1 to Vaughn. One ball, one strike to Vaughn. One out, one on. The pitch is low on the splitter, and it's now 2-1. Two balls, one strike to Vaughn. The pitch is way outside. That fastball, it's now 3-1. We're in the fourth inning. Roki is only allowed 2 hits so far. Pitch is outside for ball 4. And I believe that's Roki's third walk he's given up. He's thrown 60 pitches. Check that, fourth walk. He gave that walk to Sanchez. So two guys on base. He walked this inning. And up comes Christian Yelich, 0 for 1 with a ground out. So that is not the way you want to go, Roki, walking guys. There's a pitch, a splitter for low for ball 1 to Yelich. So Roki getting a little bit wild in this inning. Yelich, 3-time All-Star, 2018 National League MVP, 2-time National League batting champ, comes in with all kinds of decorative awards, standing there at the plate with a 1-0 count. There's a pitch, shot, base hit into left field. Teoscar quickly throws it in, and just like that, the bases are loaded for the Brewers with only 1 out. And up comes the catcher Contreras to the plate. Contreras, 5'10", 217-pounder out of Puerto Cabrillo, Venezuela. Yet another Venezuelan. I'm really impressed with the number of Venezuelans that there are in the MLB. I remember way back, if you saw somebody playing from Latin America, chances are they were from the Dominican Republic, but that's not the case so much these days, as it's really opened up to other Latin American countries as well. Usually it would be like Dominican Republic or Cuba. But now we see a great deal of Major League Baseball players from Venezuela. Okay, bases loaded. Mark Pryor was at the mound, had a few words with Roki, and now everyone's back and ready to go. The pitch on the way is swung on and fouled away by Contreras on the fastball, 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Oh, and 1 the count to Contreras. The road map out of here is strike him out, and he gets a splitter fouled back, and the count is now 0-2. Okay, 1 more strike. You strike out Contreras, and then you really take a big load off of you right here with the bases loaded. That takes away the scoring fly ball if you can strike this guy out. And that pitch is low on the slider, and the count is now 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes to Contreras. The pitch is swung on and missed, and down he goes. A big strikeout by Roki, his first of the game. Okay, that was a big one right there. Now you take away that, so you don't have to worry about that scoring fly ball. Infield could play back regular position and just worry about getting out Ortiz now coming up to the plate. Pitch on the way is a half swing. They look over at first, and what? No sign. It'll be ball 1. So if Roki can get out of this, this will be a big step right here for him. Pitch is low on the splitter, ball 2. Now he's going the other way. He quickly jumped out in front of Contreras with a 0-2 count. Now he's going the other way to Joey Ortiz. Ortiz grounded out in his first at-bat. Bases loaded. Ortiz to the plate. Roki's now thrown 68 pitches. The 2-0 pitch is high and fastball for ball 3. So now Roki is 1 out away from walking home a run. 1 out, 1 ball away from walking in a run. The 3-0 count. And he does just that. Inside a fastball, ball 4, and on 4 pitches, Roki has walked in a run, and just like that, Brewers 1, Dodgers 0, and the bases remain loaded with 2 outs. And Roki just threw his 70th pitch of the game. We're only in the 4th inning, so usually this kind of Roki shows up in the 1st inning. It took him 4 innings to get here. This kind of Roki meaning one that'll bob and weave and bob his way through an inning. He's doing it now in the 4th instead of the 1st. Pitch is high and outside, a forkball for his 5th straight ball, for ball 1 to Hamilton. Dodger crowd, big crowd on hand, quiet as Roki delivers. Low, his 6th straight ball, ball 2 on the fastball. So he gave up 4 balls to Ortiz to walk him, and now he's up there behind on the count to Hamilton, 2-0, and Rovert going out to the mound to have a few words, trying to settle him down. Both discussing strategies here and how they're going to pitch to Hamilton, how they're going to play it. 1-0 Milwaukee leads. They just got that run when Roki walked in a run. A man with the bases loaded. David Hamilton waiting up there with a 2-0 count. Pitch is taken for called strike one on the slider. Nicely placed slider by Roki. Count is now 2 balls and 1 strike. We're in the 4th inning. And this game is 2 minutes away from being 1 hour old. The 2-1 pitch is way outside. Nice catch and save by Revert. Otherwise, that goes all the way to the backstop on the forkball. Count is now 3 balls and 1 strike. 2 outs, bases loaded, 4th inning. Milwaukee 1, Dodgers 0. They just got that run. Roki walked it in. The pitch is inside for ball 4, and they walk in their 2nd run of the inning. So to say Roki is a little bit wild is an understatement. What is that, his 4th walk of the inning? Let's see. Yeah, he's given up 5 walks in this game. He's got 1 strikeout. And Churio, pitch is taken for called strike 1, a fastball, 99-mile-an-hour fastball. So Roki reaching back for a little bit extra, and he gets a strike on Jackson Churio, who walked in his first plate appearance. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 0-1 the count to Churio, and the Brewers lead 2-0. Swung on and fouled back and out of play. So Roki now really trying to buckle down. He's got an 0-2 count to Churio. Roki's thrown 77 pitches in this game, trailing 2-0 on 2 runs that he walked in with the bases loaded. The 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, and Roki buckles down and gets Churio on 3 pitches, but not before. The Brewers scored 2 runs on walks. And that'll the score after 3.5. Brewers 2, Dodgers 0. We move to the bottom of the 4th, and upcoming will be Pages, Edman, and Freeman. I think you could be right, JT. Roki is overthinking it. And those yips have caught up to him that he usually has in the 1st inning. He's now suffered through them, and hopefully that'll be the last of it. He can buckle down and go out there and pitch a nice 5th inning. Pages, Edman, and Freeman will be coming up for the Dodgers, and if anybody should get on, it'll be Teoscar coming up. Okay, so Braxton Sasaki needs to breathe through an eye like a nuclear, there you go, did from the Bull Durham. That's right, classic movie. Pitch on the way is taken for called strike 1 to Pages. Pages flied out in his first at-bat. Count is 0-1 to Pages, 2-0 Milwaukee leads. Pitch is a sinker low and in the dirt for a 1-1 count. Dodgers got to answer back in this inning. Can't let this game get too far out of hand for him. 1-1 pitch is way high, ball 2. So Drohan comes out of here throwing a little bit wild. Hang in there, Pages. Don't swing at anything. Make them throw strikes. Pages tends to swing at pitches way out of the strike zone. This one's way out of the strike zone on the sinker, and the count is now 3-1. So if Pages shows a little bit of discipline here, he can be walked on this pitch coming up right now. The 3-1 pitch. Swung on, a sharp liner down to the third baseman. Vaughn along the line throws him out, a 5-3 putout, and there's 1 out. And up comes Tommy Edman. So Vaughn was perfectly lined up right on the line that just be ahead of the little patch of grass there on third base, and caught that line shot by Pages. Up comes Tommy Edman. He's 0 for 1. He struck out in his first plate appearance. 2-0. Milwaukee Brewers over the Dodgers. 1 out. We're in the 4th inning. Pitch is taken outside for ball 1 on the cutter. The 1-0 pitch. Swung on. There's a little ground ball hit down to Vaughn. He gloves it nicely and throws. Oh! He came out of, he got the first baseman off of the base, and hustling by was Tommy Edman, and he's safe. He pulled him off the base. In fact, Vaughn fielded that right in front of Ortiz and threw wildly. Had he just waited, that ball popped right out of Sanchez's glove. So, well, the throw pulled him off the base. That popped out of Sanchez's glove. It took away any chance of him tagging Tommy Edman running by. So both players with 2 little boo-boos right there. There's a high fly ball hit by Freeman. Back goes Bowers to catch that on the warning track, and back to first base goes Tommy Edman. So first ball swinging and a long fly ball to the warning track in right field, and there's now 2 outs, and up comes Teoscar. Teoscar 1 for 1. Drohan's thrown 49 pitches. Teoscar hit a single in his first plate appearance. 2 outs. We're in the 4th inning. 1 on. Dodgers trailing 2-0. Teoscar first ball swinging, fouls it away. Back up near the second deck and right field. The count is now 0-1 on Drohan's 50th pitch of the evening. Oh and 1 the count. The Teoscar swung on and missed way out of the strike zone. High riding fastball. And the count is now 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. And the 0-2 pitch swung on. There's a ground ball hit sharply down to Ortiz at short. He throws up to get him. They tag him running by again, pulling him off the base, but this time Sanchez is able to tag the runner Teoscar running by, and that'll do it for the Dodgers in the 4th inning. The score after 4 complete, Brewers 2, Dodgers 0. And I'm going to step aside and let Braxton and JT continue to chat. I'll be right back after this. Okay, so Roki, who had a tough fourth inning, walking in 2 runs with the bases loaded, will now come out here and face Mitchell, the center fielder, as we move to the top of the 5th inning. The pitch on the way is way outside to Mitchell, the fastball for ball 1. So both pitchers, Roki threw 32 pitches in that 4th inning. He's now thrown 79 in the game, and up comes his 80th pitch. Swung on and missed on the fastball. The count is now 1-1. Garrett Mitchell 0 for 2 with a ground out and a fly out. Taking his 3rd chance at Roki right now. The pitch is high. Fastball for ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike to Mitchell. Brewers 2, Dodgers 0. We're in the 5th inning. Just the start of the 5th. The 2-1 pitch is taken for ball 3 on the slider. Now it's 3-1. Welcome in, Andrew. Let's go, Dodgers. So Andrew's back in the chat. Back and better than ever. Swung on and missed, and down goes Mitchell. So Roki, check that. It'll be a 3-2 count now. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Mitchell. The 3-2 pitch swung on, and a high fly ball moving over is Kike. He's going to catch it in foul territory for the out. So 1 out. Gary Sanchez comes up. He's 1 for 1. He walked, singled, and scored a run. He benefited on those Roki walks. Walked and then scored around, went around the bases and scored on the walk on the fork ball. So it's ball 1 to Sanchez. 2 balls, 1 ball, no strike. Brewers 2, Dodgers 0. Pitch is taken for strike 1 on the fastball, so the count is now 1-1 to Sanchez. Roki, meanwhile, has thrown 86 pitches in this game. One and one. Pitch is taken for called strike. You're right, JT, they are overdue for a rally, and they got to do it in this 5th inning coming up. I think they could get to the pitcher, Drohan. He's been a little wild and at times just show discipline and have him work the count. Meanwhile, Sanchez at the plate has a count of 1-2 from Roki. 1 out, we're in the 5th inning. Pitches, there's a little ground ball hit sharply. Nice play by Kike. He gloves it, dives, throws and gets to Freeman and running by. So he made the tag, Freeman did. Did not think Kike had a prayer of throwing him out, and he did. He dove, made a nice diving stop, and he threw from his knees. He threw a little bit off center, but Freeman came up and got the big slow running. Wow. What a nice play by Kike. Jake Bauers now to the plate. Funny thing is, that was probably the only runner that Kike could have gotten on that throw, because he was a slow runner moving down the line. Bauers, there's a little ground ball hit sharply down to Kike. This one gloves, throws on the run, got him at first base. Nice 2 plays by Kike at third base. Really nice plays. One, he had to dive and then throw from his knees to get the runner out. And this one, he right away gloved it on the infield part and threw on the run to get Bauers. Sanchez, that's the slow running Sanchez moving down. Plays catcher and first base, so Not a whole lot of speed you'd figure would come from him anyways, but probably the only man that Kike could have done that with, and it paid off. So the Brewers are done. After 4.5 innings, their score remains Brewers 2, Dodgers 0. Now, for the Dodgers, it'll be Rojas, Tucker, and Kike coming up in the 5th inning, trying to get something started here. And if anybody gets on, Rovert will be coming up and hitting in the 4th spot in this inning. Andrew, good question. He's playing well. He's a little sore. He'll have tomorrow off on his normal scheduled day off, but no worse for the wear. At least anything shown on the field on a play that he hasn't been able to move, nothing like that, at least so far. Pitch on the way is to Rojas, is taken for ball 1. So Rohan has only thrown 53 pitches so far. Cutter is ball 2. Rojas grounded into a double play in his last at-bat. The 2-0 pitcher's a sharp ground ball foul down the third base line. Count is now 2-1 on the sinker, and looks like Rojas may have broken a bat, and he'll go over and get a different bat, and he'll be back up there shortly. So this year, Rojas is enjoying his highest OPS in his career. And to think he even thought about retiring at the end of last year. This season hitting .327 versus lefties, 3 home runs with a .878 OPS against left-handers. And he's got a left-hander in Rohan at the mound. The 2-1 pitch way outside for ball 3 on the curveball. So if Rojas shows a little bit of discipline here, I have a good feeling he can get walked. Let's see what Drohan's going to pitch, what he's going to throw on this one. 3-1. Pitch is way inside, just as I said. Ball 4. Cutter, and Rojas is aboard. A leadoff walk. Okay, so with nobody out, Dodgers get the tying run now coming to the plate in Kyle Tucker. Brewers 2, Dodgers nothing. We're in the 5th inning and nobody out. Rojas has just walked to first. Let's see if Tucker can make something happen. He's due. The pitch way low on the slider. Again, Drohan is really not sharp and on his game, although he's only given up, 2 hits to the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers have helped him out by swinging at bad pitches. The 1-0 pitch is taken for called strike 1 on the slider. So it's 1-1 now to Tucker. Brewers 2 runs, 3 hits and 1 error. And the Dodgers no runs, 2 hits and no errors. Drohan's 60th pitch is a little bouncing ground ball to the Sanchez, the first baseman. He'll flip it over to the Hamilton covering first base. On to second base goes Rojas. So fielder's choice moves over Rojas into scoring position, and up comes Kike. Kike with 2 dazzling plays to end the half of the inning for the Brewers. In the top of the 5th, comes up here. He struck out in his first at-bat, but made 2 nice plays defensively with a glove. So Drohan's now thrown 60 pitches. There's a little ground ball foul. Count is now 0-1. 1 out, 1 on. We're in the 5th inning. Brewers 2, Dodgers nothing. And Kike up there with a chance to drive home Rojas from second base. Pitcher's a fly ball foul. Count is now 0-2. Thank you, Braxton, for tuning in. Andrew, JT. Appreciate the support along the way. 0-2 the count to Hernandez. Kike swung on and missed and strikes out for the second straight time. That'll be Drohan's 5th strikeout. Kike, his second victim, falls prey to 2 of his 5 strikeouts have come at the hands of Kike. Brewers 2, Dodgers 0. 2 outs now in the 5th, and up comes Ben Revert, the catcher. 0 for 1, flew out in his first at-bat. Pitch is taken for strike 1. That was low. See, no challenge. So Milwaukee gets away with a gift there. Its count is now 0-1 to Revert. Pitch is way outside the cutter. The count is now 1-1. One pitch swung on. There's a shot in base hit, rounding third and coming to the plate is Rojas. The run, the tag, the throw, he's in there. The tag ball gets away from Contreras at the plate, and Rojas scores diving headfirst like Pete Rose. What a nice play by Rojas. Never giving up on that. He was rounding third. The throw had him beat from me to you. He was out, but Contreras couldn't hold on to the throw. As it bounced, he tagged, and in the tag process, the ball came shooting out of his glove, and Rojas diving headfirst. Actually, he never even got the ball in his glove to tag. It popped out before he even started the tag process, and Rojas has scored. The Dodgers now trail 2-1. Rovard at first base, and up comes Ohtani. Now the Dodgers got the tying run at first, and the go-ahead run at the plate in Ohtani. 1-0 the count to Ohtani. Little action here. Dodger crowd starting to wake up. Pitch is taken for called strike 1 on the sinker. It's now 1-1. Ohtani doubled his first plate appearance at bat. The Dodgers left him stranded at second. Thankfully, Dodgers didn't leave Rojas stranded there. There's a high fly ball. Back goes the third baseman, Vaughn. He's under it. He's waiting. Third, short. Oh, in comes Churio from left field to make the catch, and that'll do it for the Dodgers and Ohtani in the 5th inning. The score after 5 complete from Los Angeles, Brewers 2, Dodgers 1. And it'll be Dodgers bringing up, facing for the Brewers, it'll be Vaughn, Yelich, and Contreras coming up in the top of the 6th inning. You're right, Braxton. This figures to be a playoff preview. And at the start of it, it was no scoring until the 4th inning when Roki got a little wild and walked in some runners, walked in 2 runners with the bases loaded. But other than that, both teams kind of like 2 heavyweight fighters feeling each other out. Dodgers now scrap home a run. Showing on the hits, 2 runs, 3 hits, and 1 error for the Brewers. The Dodgers 1 run, 3 hits, and no errors. A 2-1 game as we move to the 6th inning, and Roki still out there. Rookie's thrown 91 pitches, so Roberts is going to let him go out there and pitch. It's just that 1/4 inning that's kind of wrecked Rokie, walking in 2 runs with the bases loaded and puts him behind right now. 2-1 on the scoreboard. And up comes Vaughn to face Rokie right now. Pitch is taken for called strike 1 on the 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Vaughn 1 for 1, single, walked, and scored a run. He was one of those lucky guys that walked and then got brought in by a walk. Here's a strike on the slider. The count is now 0-2. So after that 4th inning, Rokie rebounded nicely with a 5th inning, and now trying to do the same here in the 6th. His pitch count, though, is high. He's at 92 pitches already in this game. No sign of who's warming up yet in the Dodger bullpen. 0-2 the count to Vaughn. The pitch on the way. Low splitter for ball 1. One ball, 2 strikes to Vaughn. Brewers 2, Dodgers 1. Pitchers are ground ball, base hit, whacked into right field. Tucker will pick it up, and Vaughn is aboard with his 2nd hit of the game. He's 2 for 2 now. And up comes Yelich. We're in the 6th inning. In a 2-1 game, Brewers leading. Yelich 1 for 2. Pitch is swung on and missed on Rokie's 95th pitch. A nice slider there. 86-mile-an-hour slider, and the count is now 0-1 to Yelich. Yelich 1 for 2 with a single. Now would be a good time for a double play. There's a pitch low for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Yelich. The 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. Oh, nice slider by Rokie. So he's starting to find himself here. A little late after 97 pitches. Breaks off a dandy there, and the count is now 1-2. 1 more strike, and he can get Yelich out and start working on the next hitter. The pitch. Low slider for ball 2. Now we got some action. Jack Dreyer starts throwing in the Dodger bullpen. 2-2 the count to Yelich. No outs. Again, Dodgers needing that double play with Yelich at the plate. Left-hand hitter prone to normally hit a ground. And there's a ground ball hit sharply down to Rojas. He's going to tag second, throw to first for the double play to Freddie Freeman. And just like that, on Rokie's 99th pitch, the Dodgers shoot 2 and have got 2 outs now in the 6th inning. Nice play by Rojas. It was hit sharply right to him. He just gloved it himself and ran over to second base, tagged second base, and threw quickly over to Freeman to get Yelich hustling down the line, and Rokie gives him a standing O at that. So Rokie's 100th pitch on the way to Contreras is taken low and outside for ball 1 on the slider. So this will no doubt be Rokie's lasting work if he can just concentrate here and get down Contreras. Contreras is 0 for 2 with a flyout and a strikeout in tonight's game. And Rokie's 101st pitch is a high fly ball. He's going to get out of this. Back goes Pajes to the warning track, to the wall to make the catch going away, and that'll do it for the Brewers on a little excitement, and Rokie's work is done. He will leave this game trailing 2-1, but maybe Pajes, Edman, and Freeman can do something about it and get him some runs and put him in as the pitcher of record before Jack Dreyer gets in there. So those will be the first 3 hitters coming up for the Dodgers in the 6th. The score after 5 1/2, Brewers 2, Dodgers 1. Good call, Braxton. Double play time. You called it before it happened. So now Dodgers scraped and clawed and got 1 run in on the last inning. Let's see if they can return the trick and get in another run in this inning and tie things up in a playoff, what figures to be a playoff preview. These same 2 teams will be at it tomorrow night and Saturday and Sunday, a 4-game series between these 2 teams. If you're enjoying the broadcast, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate any support you give along the way. And this Dodger team playing it tough. Very good game. They're got back into shape, winning that series against the Royals, sweeping them. It wasn't easy, but they got it done for 3 more wins on their standings W column. And Pages now back out there 0 for 2. In the evening will face Drohan, who's now thrown 70 pitches. So he figures to be around unless the Dodgers can get to him and chase him out of here in this inning. Two to 1, we move to the bottom of the 6th. The pitch is taken low and outside for ball 1. Brewers 2, Dodgers 1. Pages 0 for 2 with a fly out and a ground out. Pitch is swung on and missed on the curveball. The count is now 1-1. The 1-1 pitch to Pages is swung on and shot down to right field, right to Bowers for the catch for out number 1. So with 1 out, we're in the 6th inning. Up comes Tommy Edman. He's 0 for 2. Reached on an error in his last at-bat. Pitch is inside, and they're going to now challenge it. So Contreras, the catcher, feeling that wasn't a ball, and it was a ball. So they'll lose the challenge, and now the Brewers are down to 1 challenge left in the game. Dodgers still have both of their challenges. So like I said, this is very much like a playoff game. Both teams playing it very close to the vest, even with their challenges. This pitch is low, the curveball, so it's now 2-0. Drohan's 75th pitch right here, right now, is low for ball 3 on the changeup, and 1 more ball and Edmonds aboard, so don't swing at this one, Tommy. Make them throw a strike to you. Pitch is way inside ball 4. He didn't even have a chance at swinging on that. So the sinker misses badly. Edmonds aboard, and up comes Freddie Freeman to the plate. So the tying runs aboard. 1 out. We're in the 6th inning. Brewers 2, Dodgers 1. And up comes Freddie Freeman, who's 0 for 2. Freeman's made a couple of nice plays at first base, tagging runners going by. He's been pulled off his base and has quickly rebounded and tagged the runners running by. You got Sanchez on the last inning. So 0 for 2 with a ground out and a fly out is Freeman, and the first pitch is a sinker taken for strike one. 1 on, 1 out, 6th inning. Brewers 2, Dodgers 1. Freddie Freeman, the go-ahead run at the plate. Pitch is taken for strike 2. Suddenly Rohan's found himself with that sinker. And the count is now 0-2 to Freeman. Edman away from first base. And the 0-2 pitch is swung on and fouled away. Oh, and 2 the count to Freeman. The pitch way inside in the dirt for ball 1. The slider missing badly, an 88-mile-an-hour slider. So Freddie Freeman, since July 4th in 32 games, is hitting .339, leads the National League. If you go back to July 4th, right now we're concerned about August 13th. There's a ground ball foul along the third baseline. Count is now 1-2 to Freeman. One ball, 2 strikes to Freddie Freeman. Pitch is swung on and fouled away on the slider. Count remains 1-2. Meanwhile, Roki only has 2 strikeouts. So if you're hoping for that free jumbo jack tomorrow, might not happen. Well, it's as of now it wouldn't. There's still a few innings more to go. The pitch is way outside for ball 2 on the fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Freddie Freeman. He's taken 7 pitches, so he's making Rohan work. He's now thrown 83 pitches in this game. 1 out, 6th inning, 1 on, 2-2 count to Freeman. The pitch is way outside and stealing. Second base is Tommy Edman. The count goes to 3-2. Contreras got up, thought about throwing, but he realized he was way too late. He was going to catch the speeding Edman, who got a nice leadoff and motored pretty quickly down to second base with a stolen base. So 3-2 the count to Freeman. Edman away from second. The pitch is ball four. They're going to call him, punched him out with a strike. And Freddie Freeman was so sure that was a ball 4. He isn't going to challenge. He's going to, oh yes, he is going to challenge, and he's going to win the challenge. Ball 4. Nicely done by Freddie Freeman. So his eye is good. The Dodgers are still alive with only 1 out. And nice challenge. That's how you use your challenges right there. So Freeman was so sure that was ball 4. He was moving before the ump even gave a sign, and the ump punched him out. But luckily, Dodgers had a couple of challenges still in the chamber, used it, and it came up in their favor. And now the umpire will check that the manager for the Brewers will come with a hook and pull Rohan, and they're going to the bullpen as the Dodgers making a little bit of noise here. And upcoming will be Senzatilla. Let's see where he's from. Let's get to know the new pitcher coming in for the Brewers right now. Okay, Antonio Centella, right-hander, 31-year-old, 6'1", 235 pounds, out of Venezuela, Valencia, Venezuela. So yet another Venezuelan. Now we got an all Venezuelan battery with Santella throwing to Contreras behind the plate for the Brewers. And coming up will be Teoscar Hernandez. Teoscar out of the Dominican Republic. Good call, Braxton. Freeman is aboard with that walk and a nice appeal, the challenge to get him there. And JT tells us a 3.90 ERA is now coming in from the bullpen to face Teoscar. 2 on, 1 out. So back-to-back walks. Shane Drohan leaves after 5 in the third innings, gave up 3 hits, 1 earned run. He is the pitcher of record, and those 2 guys are his, so he can lose this game, win it, or have nothing to do with it. The pitch on the way is taken right down the middle of the cutter for a strike 1 to Hernandez. So both guys on base belong to Drohan. Zentelia now to the mound. The 0-1 pitch is way outside for ball 1 on the cutter. 1-1 the count. 2-1 Brewers lead. 2 on, 1 out. We're in the 6th inning. One pitch swung on and missed on the sinker. The 1-2 pitch swung on and fouled away. SCI Hund is back, confusing that the D-backs, actually, you know what, I'm going to go on a limb and say the D-backs won tonight. I haven't even checked it. I know for a fact the D-backs have won or are winning. No way did they lose. I'll check that game in a moment after this pitch. There's a ground foul. So 1-2 the count to Hernandez. 2 on, 1 out. The 1-2 pitch swung on and fouled sharply away, and the sinker, a 100-mile-an-hour sinker. So Centelia is coming up here throwing some smoke. Brewers 2, Dodgers 1. We're in the 6th inning. Dodgers trying to get a rally started right here, right now. The 1-2 pitch swung on and missed, and down goes Teoscar for the 2nd out. And now Dodgers are going to go to the pinch hitting role, and up comes Max Muncy. Okay. So Muncy now will pinch hit for Rojas. Muncy this season in 111 games hitting .249. He's hitting .345 with runners in scoring position since June the 3rd. Okay, so this is one of those analytic, no doubt, moves. Hitting .345 with runners in scoring position. And you got a chance here to tie this game up. Why not? Why not? Go for Muncy. Okay. 2 outs, 2 on. Dodgers trailing 2-1, and Muncy at the plate. Pitch is high for ball 1 on the cutter. One and 0 the count to Muncy. Swung on and a high fly ball hit back deep. Oh, foul. There was no question if that ball was fair it'd be foul, but it hooked foul. And Muncy's still up at the plate with a 1-1 count. Just hook foul. So count remains 1-1. The pitch is way high on the cutter and outside for 2-1. We are in the 6th inning, 2 outs, 2 on. Dodgers trailing 2-1, but the count is now 2-1 to Muncy. Waiting on deck is Kyle Tucker. Pitch is way high, almost all the way to the backstop. Nice save by Contreras to go way high to snag it. And the count is now 3-1. And Antonio on the mound is starting to feel the pressure here. Let's see if he can get it together. 3-1 the count to Muncy. I think his heart might have skipped a couple of beats when Muncy hit that ball, because after that he's been throwing balls. 3 balls, 1 strike to Muncy. Grounded foul and the sinker, and the count is now full at 3-2. So now the runners will be moving. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 on. So if Muncy lines one here up the alley, easily these runners will score. Let's see what they're going to do. Tyne runs at second base. Go ahead run at first. Runners motion move. A high fly ball, the deep center field. Back goes center fielder Mitchell. It's gone. Home run. Max Muncy. A 3-run pinch hit home run. The gong has sounded. The place at Dodger Stadium is going nuts. And just like that, Brohan stands to lose this game. He now is on the losing end. And with that, let's bang the drums in honor of Muncy. 4-2, Dodgers take the lead on that shot to dead center field by Muncy. And that switches and changes everything. Now the Dodgers 4, Brewers 2. And the place is going nuts in Dodger Stadium as Tucker is to the plate, fouls a pitch off and out of play. It's 0-1. So what Dave Roberts dialed up a good one there with a 3-run pinch hit home run, and Max Muncy. Pitch is taken high for, they're going to call that a strike. So in the cutter. That's Muncy's 23rd home run this season. First pinch hit home run since 2018. Can you believe that? First pinch hit home run since 2018, and he does it here when the Dodgers needed it mostly against a tough opponent in the Brewers. The count is now 1-2 to Tucker. This place erupted. And suddenly, SCI Hund has gone away from the chat. He has vacated the chat. It's now 2-2 to Tucker. And Kitchen now suddenly appears with all kinds of laughters and icons. And it's 2-2 count. Pitches a ground ball down to first baseman Sanchez. He's going to handle it. He'll flip it over to the first baseman Centilla covering, and that'll do it. But not before Max Muncy goes yard deep to center field and puts the Dodgers ahead. The score after 6 complete innings, Dodgers 4, Brewers 2. I'm going to step away for a quick break, be right back. Okay, so you're right, Braxton. Take that, SCI Hund. He's packed up and he's left. He's gone back to Arizona. As the Dodgers erupt with 3 runs, a 3-run home run by Muncy in the bottom of the 6th to take the lead. So they woke up a little late. Dodgers scored 1 in the 5th and now 3 in the 6th to take a 4-2 lead over the Brewers. Muncy with that home run will stay in the game. I think he hit pinch hit for Rojas. Kike was at third, so it looks like Kike will move over to short, and Muncy will take over at third for Kike. Let's see how they do it. Jack Dreyer now into the game. 5-1 record, going for the save. The pitch is taken, a curveball for strike 1 to Ortiz. Oh, 1 pitch is taken, a slider for ball 1, so it's now 1-1 count to Ortiz. Ortiz 0 for 1, walked and had an RBI. RBI when he was at the plate. No, Roki walked in a run. Swung on and missed high out of the strike zone. 95-mile-an-hour strike, a pitch. And Ortiz, failure to lay off the high riding fastball, puts him behind in the count, 1-2. That was a ball, but swinging at it, he gets a strike. There's a ground ball hit sharply, base hit into right field. Tucker will pick it up, and the Brewers now get the leadoff man aboard in the 7th inning. So pitch is Hamilton takes a ball. So actually I was speculating Kike moved it short. No, they moved Kike to second base and put Tommy Edman at short. He hasn't played shortstop in 2 years. So let's see, hopefully no malfunctions happen because of that switch. There's a bunt. Rovart picks up and it's foul on the fastball. Count is now 1-1. So now you got Muncy at third, his normal position. You move Kike, who was at third, over to second base, and Edman, who was at second, over to shortstop. Jack Dreyer's now thrown 6 pitches. He's given up a base hit. He's got a 1-1 count to Hamilton at the plate. Lefty on lefty action. Pitch is way high all the way to the backstop, and now the runner was at first, is now at second in scoring position. So Dreyer digging his hole a little bit deeper with a pitch way high and over the even outreach of Rover. He couldn't get to it. So now 7 pitches. Dreyer's given up a base hit. A pitch, wild pitch way over the catcher's head. He's allowed the guy to go to second. He's got a 2-1 count on Hamilton and no outs in the 7th. Again, a fake tries to bunt, bunts it foul. The count is now 2-2. So surprised he's still bunting with a man already at second. I thought that would be to, normally you'd see that to take away the double play action. But anyways, safe bet he's not going to be bunting now. He's going to be swinging away. 2-2 count to Hamilton. The pitch way high on the slider. It's now 3-2. Three balls, 2 strikes. A pitch swung on and missed. Oh, nice. Jack Dreyer. That pitch would have been, that was ball 4. And he couldn't lay off the high riding fastball, and he's punched out because of it. Whoa. Again, one of the toughest things for major leaguers to do is resist, and Hamilton couldn't on that one. Okay, so 1 out, 1 on. Dodgers 4, Brewers 2. We're in the 7th inning. Swung on and missed by Churio. They go to the top of the order now. Churio's 0 for 2 with a walk. Brewers are stunned on that 3-run home run by Muncy. In fact, they got a reprieve on it because he hit that one ball that would have been gone had it stayed fair, but it just hooked foul. And a couple of pitches later, he went to dead center, squared it off, straightened it out, and we got a 4-2 score. This pitch is way low and in the dirt, and it's now 1-1 to Churio. Dreyer's thrown 12 pitches, and every one of them has some kind of excitement. There's a high fly ball. Pages coming in. It'll be a lazy fly ball. He'll catch easily for the 2nd out. And now with 2 outs, Brewers still have a runner at second base, and let's see what Mitchell's going to do coming to the plate now. Mitchell's 0 for 3 with a fly out in the 5th. We're in the 7th inning, 2 outs. Dreyer checks the runner at second base. The pitch is taken for ball 1. Brewers down to their last challenge. They got 1 challenge left. Dodgers have both of their challenges. 2 outs, 7th inning. Pitch is taken for called strike 1 on the fastball. Count is now 1-1. Center fielder Mitchell, the guy that had to run down Muncy's home run all the way to the wall, only to see it go over the wall, standing at the plate now. 1-1 count. Strike 2 on the slider. It's now 1-2. And Jack Dreyer is on the verge of getting out of this little hole he put himself in if he can get one more pitch over the plate on this one. Brewers 258 with runners in scoring position, 10th in Major League Baseball. They got a runner in scoring position now. Let's see if they can do with it. Pitch, strike 3 right down the middle on the fastball, and down goes the Brewers as Jack Dreyer gets it together, punches him out, and that'll do it. The score after 6.5 as we head into the 7th inning stretch. Dodgers 4, Brewers 2. For the Dodgers, it'll be Hernandez, Rovert, and the top of the order, Shohei Ohtani. You know what? Looks like once they got rid of, good question there, Braxton. Once they got rid of Sheehan, the bad luck that was hanging on around Dreyer's neck has suddenly dissipated. He's pitched fairly decent in his last few innings. He's been called on to work, and as well as this one, he gets out of the. All that was his own doing right there that you saw. He didn't inherit anyone's mess. He just did his own mess and cleaned it up. So I have a sneaky suspicion Roberts will bring out another pitcher to start the 8th inning. But right now it's bottom of the 7th. Dodgers looking for more insurance runs, and they're going to send up Kike to try to get that started. Kike, Rovert, and Ohtani. And if anybody gets on, Pages. The line so far of the game, Dodgers 4 runs with 4 hits. Brewers 2 runs with 5 hits and 1 error. Clayton Kershaw bobblehead tomorrow, 7:10 versus the Brewers. First 40,000 fans in attendance can take home a Clayton Kershaw bobblehead. So Teoscar now climbs in there. The pitch is taken. So D.L. Hall, new pitcher now coming in. 1-0 record, 2.60 ERA. Pitch swung on and fouled away by Kike. Kike struck out already twice in this game. That was to Dohan. He's long gone. 0-2 the count to Kike. The pitch swung on and fouled away at the plate. Kike making a couple of dazzling plays at third base. Now he's at second base. Drowan. So 0-2 pitch swung on and missed, so it doesn't matter who the pitcher is. Kike has struck out his third straight time in this game. So tough night at the plate, but with a glove, he has been dandy. Dazzling with a couple of nice plays over there at third. Now at second, and up comes the catcher, Rovert. Rovert 1 for 2, RBI and a single. Dodgers 4, Brewers 2, fouled away by Rovert, and a slider by D.L. Hall. Oh and 1 the count. Pitch is way high in the slider. It's 1-1 now. D.L. Hall, 6'1", 209-pounder out of Georgia. The 1-1 pitch is way inside. The sweeper missing, so it's now 2-1. 27-year-old lefty. Pitch is swung on and missed by Rovert. It's now 2-2. You're right, Braxton. They do need that ace bullpenner. Let's see who they're going to. I have a feeling one of those pitchers that doesn't make the cut will be pressed in to be a savior in the bullpen. Whether it's Roki or Robalewski or whomever doesn't make it from the starting pitching. Pitch is now 3-2 to Rovert. 1 out. We're in the 7th inning. Full count. D.L. Hall's pitch taken for called strike 3, and Rovert knew it. As soon as the ball crossed the plate, he was heading to the dugout. So 2 outs now in the 7th inning. And this game is officially 2 hours old, and up comes Ohtani. Ohtani 1 for 3. First at bat, plate appearance, doubled off of the wall, hit the wall and bounced back. Just a few feet away. One more foot, it would have been over the wall. So Shohei, first ball is ball 1. We're in the 7th inning, 2 outs. Dodgers 4, Brewers 2. Shohei to the plate. Pitch is taken for ball 2 on the fastball. Two balls, no strikes. Swung on. There's a little ground ball to the second baseman. He's going to quickly throw it over to first for the out, and that'll do it. Goes from Hamilton to Sanchez, 4-3 put out, and the Dodgers are done in the 7th. The score after 7 complete from Los Angeles: Dodgers 4, Brewers 2. And for the Brewers, coming up in the 8th inning, it'll be Sanchez, Bowers, and Vaughn. Once again, thank you, fans, for tuning in, to baseball fans tuning into this game. If you're enjoying it, please hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel. I'll be here all year long. The year is almost over, calling Dodger baseball. So, a big hand and a tip of the cap to all you people who chose this channel. I know there's many channel options you can choose out there, but thank you for coming into this broadcast for this game. Dodgers started slow. Brewers jumped down through the first 4 innings. We did actually first 3 innings, no score. Then Roki went a little wild in the 4th inning, got the bases loaded, walked home 2 runners. That's how the Brewers got their runs, by walking in 2 runs. Dodgers scraped and put together a 1 run in the 5th inning, and then the big 3-run home run shot by Max Muncy to dead center field, pinch hit home run, made this game 4-2, and that's where we're at. So this game figured to be, and has lived up to be, a playoff preview, billed by that by many people. Brewers coming in here with a very impressive record. Brewers on the year 74-47. Coming in here, Dodgers 73-48. So the Dodgers trying to get their 74th win at the hands of the Brewers. Brewers are down to their last 6 outs in this game. So Eduardo Henriquez will be coming in, 47 games, 4-1 record, 3.02 ERA. The man with a 103-mile-an-hour fastball is on the mound now. And Mookie Betts appears now. So Mookie's now at shortstop. And Edman, who played 1 inning at shortstop, is now back at second base. And I think they moved, then Kike's now in the outfield. So Kike's 3rd position playing in this game. Gary Sanchez comes up 1 for 2. Henriquez now to the mound. The pitch. 101-mile-an-hour sinker taken for ball 1. The 1-0 pitch, fouled back and out of play on the 101-mile-an-hour sinker. Kike is now in left field, so he's been the well-traveled Kike. Started at third base, moved over to second base, and now he's in left field. Two and one the count to Sanchez. No outs. We're in the 8th inning. Brewers down to their last 6 outs in this game. And now they're having some communication issues with the headset with Henriquez. Umpires at the mound now trying to get someone over to assist him with it. So we have a little break in the action. Once again, thank you all for tuning in to this broadcast of the Dodgers and the Brewers. Those same 2 teams will be going at it tomorrow night. Same time, 7:10 in Los Angeles, 9:10 in Milwaukee. And then they'll be on for the weekend as well, Saturday and Sunday. So Henriquez back up on the mound, ready to go. 2-1 the count to Sanchez. No outs, we're in the 8th inning. 4-2 Dodgers lead. The pitch, little outside on the cutter for ball 3. So Henriquez has got to buckle down now. You don't want to commit the unwritten cardinal sin in baseball, walk the leadoff man to start an inning. The pitch swung on and missed. A big swing by Sanchez. He was trying to get this game within 1 run with that swing. And this count is now 3 balls and 2 strikes. Henriquez known to throw that 103-mile-an-hour fastball. It hasn't quite hit there yet today. Swung on and missed on a 101 fastball, and down he goes. Oh my, so Sanchez was up for the challenge with a mighty swing, but Henriquez was just a little bit faster than his swing, and just like that, there's one out. 5 more outs to go for the Dodgers to get this win. And with 1 out in the 8th inning, facing Henriquez is Bowers. Pitch is swung on and missed, a slider, 88-mile-an-hour slider. And that right there, JT, is what you've talked about before. That 88-mile-an-hour slider, and then that 103 or 102-mile-an-hour fastball definitely keeps hitters on their toes. So the 0-1 count to Bowers. The pitch way high and out of the strike zone for ball 1 on the curveball. That was an 82-mile-an-hour curveball. So almost a 20-mile swing from 82 to 101. The 1-1 pitch is taken for called strike. They're going to challenge that. I think they're going to win that challenge too. As that was taken, that was called as a strike, but Bowers is going to challenge and he'll win the challenge. And it'll now be 2-1. Two balls and 1 strike to Bowers. 1 out. We're in the 8th inning. Dodgers 4, Brewers 2. The 2-1 pitch is low and in the dirt, and the slider. Count is now 3-1, and Henriquez is going the wrong way. 3 balls, 1 strike to Bowers. Again, avoid the walk, Henriquez. Give him a 101-mile-an-hour fastball right down the middle. Challenge him. 3-1 pitch is low, just missed it on the 99-mile-an-hour fastball, and Bowers is aboard with a walk. Henriquez visibly frustrated with himself, kicking at the dirt on the mound. Meanwhile, in the Dodger bullpen is Tanner Scott warming up. So Vaughn, Andrew Vaughn, 2 for 2 with 2 singles, a walk and a run now at the plate. He's the tying run at the plate. And the pitch is taken right down the middle on a sinker for a strike 1. 0-1 the count to Vaughn. 1 on, 1 out. We're in the 8th inning in a 4-2 Dodger lead. Henriquez checks the runner over at first that he just walked. And his 0-1 pitch on the way is taken for called strike 2 to Vaughn. So he's 1 strike away from punching out Vaughn at the plate. Let's see if he can do it. 0-2 the count. Pitch is taken low on the slider for ball 1. One and 2 the count to Vaughn. Again, Henriquez checking over the runner at first. The 1-2 pitch. They're going to check over at first to see if it was a swing. He'll say no swing, so that'll make it a 2-2 count. Two balls, 2 strikes to Vaughn. 1 on, 1 out. Pitch is way low and in the dirt in the cutter, and the count is now full at 3-2. Yelich waiting on deck. Three and 2 the count to Vaughn. The pitch is swung on and a high fly ball. Paez goes back. He's got plenty of room. He's under it. He'll make the catch for the 2nd out. Retreating back to first base goes the and now they're going to bring on Tanner Scott. Okay, So now, 2 outs. 8th inning. Brewers down to their last 4 outs, and they're calling for Tanner Scott to come in. So there's a brief timeout in the action before Yelich comes to the plate. So the Dodgers poll 79% say Dodgers will win. It just flipped from 81 to 79. So if you haven't voted, make your voice be heard. Vote on who will win this game in the Dodgers chat, or in the actual chat. It should the game chat. 79% say Dodgers will win it. Let's see if we can get this a little higher for the Dodgers or lower. We'll see how it goes. Thank you all once again for tuning in. Subscribe, hit the like if you're liking and enjoying the game. Subscribe to the channel. I'll be here all year long bringing you Dodger baseball. Also in football seasons, just had their first preseason game. Some teams did, so I'll be doing football, NFL football, as well as college football during the year. So it figures to be a big, exciting, still year to come with this playoffs, World Series, and football rounding into shape. So Tanner Scott now coming in from the bullpen. He just needs to get 1 out and get out of here. So since July 8th, 12 games, Tanner Scott's been on his game. .82 ERA, 4 saves. 4 out of 4 saves with 4 holds. And he's definitely in a save position here. If not a save, a hold. He comes in with a 1-3 record. 60 strikeouts, 11 walks, 4 home runs allowed, 2.27 ERA in 51 games appeared. So this is the new and improved Tanner Scott, definitely from last year. And he's trying to continue on that now. The pitch is taken low to Yelich on the slider for ball 1. Yelich 1 for 3. Comes in here decorated with all kinds of awards in his past. But right here, right now, this is what matters. 1 ball, no strikes. The pitch, high riding fastball. They're going to look at third and say strike on the 98-mile-an-hour fastball. Yelich tried to hold up, but just couldn't do it. And the count is now 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Braxton with a big phew. And I feel you right there. 1-1 the count. The pitch is high. Yelich lays off of that high riding fastball, and the count is now 2-1. 1 on, 2 outs. We're in the 8th inning. Dodgers leading 4-2 with Tanner Scott on the mound. The 2-1 pitch. Low for ball 3 on the slider. And Contreras on deck. The 3-1 pitch is swung on a high fly ball. Back goes Kike to the warning track, to the wall. He's got it right at the wall. Oh, what a catch by Kike. Running that one down to make a spectacular catch just before it was a lower part near the foul line, that little low wall, the smaller wall, and Kike making a spectacular running catch. And the score after 7.5 innings, Dodgers 4, Brewers 2. And I was just stopped to think about Kike playing 3 different positions. That one spectacular play, couple of spectacular plays at third base, and then now this outstanding play in left field. Kike's definitely on his game defensively, although he has struck out 3 times at the plate. But you know what? He has more than made up for it with his glove out there in the field. Okay, so for the Dodgers, coming up in the bottom of the 8th, looking for some insurance runs, it'll be Pages, Edman, and Freeman. And if anybody gets on Mookie Betts, well, this game did start slow in scoring. No score for the first 3 innings. Both teams struggling to even get a hit. And then Roki went a little bit wild in the 4th inning, threw 32 pitches in the 4th. Walked in 2 runs with the bases loaded. 2 runs with the bases loaded. Dodgers battled back with 1 run in the 5th. A big pinch hit 3-run home run by Max Muncy in the 6th. And that's right where we're at, 4-2. In case you joined us a little late, that's what's happening. And then the pitchers have settled down and gotten the hitters out. So we now move to the bottom of the 8th inning, and Pages at the plate. The pitch is taken for called strike 1 on the fastball. And it's still DL Hall out there. Pages 0 for 3, lined out. It's changeup for strike 2. So 0-2 the count to Pages now. Just the start of the bottom of the 8th inning. And warming up in the bullpen. Pitcher's a ground ball down to the 3rd baseman. Vaughn, he'll glove it, throw over to first base in time to Sanchez to get him for out number 1. From Vaughn to Sanchez, 5-3 put out. So 1 out for the Dodgers, and up comes Tommy Edman. Edwin Diaz warming up in the bullpen. So hold on to your seats. Edmonds at the plate. The pitch is taken for called strike 1 on the curveball. Freddie Freeman on deck. Curveball missing for ball 1. So 1 ball, 1 strike. We're in the bottom of the 8th. Dodgers 4, Brewers 2. In a game with a playoff atmosphere. Pitch is swung on and fouled back and out of play. 95-mile-an-hour fastball. The count is now 1-2 to Edman. Hang in there, Braxton. The pitching outside of Roki walking in those 2 guys, they've really done well in this game. Dodgers leading 4-2. 1-2 pitch. There's a broken bat. Edman doesn't know where to go with it. It goes foul, but he wasn't sure should he run. He's left at the plate holding the base of the bat, the handle of the, I should say the bat handle, as the rest of the bat shattered and went every which way. He didn't know him, still holding the bat. Meanwhile, back to live action here with the Dodgers. One out. We're in the 8th inning. 1-2 to Edman. The pitch just a little outside on the changeup, makes it 2-2 to Tommy Edman. Freddie Freeman waiting on deck. The 2-2 pitch. Oh, they're going to punch him out. I think that was a ball. Edman's not going to challenge. He's going to turn around and go back to the dugout. But I think the Brewers got a gift on that one. And up comes Freddie Freeman now with 2 outs in the 8th inning. Dodgers 4, Brewers 2. We're in the 8th, 2 outs. Pitch is way outside. Fastball for ball 1 to Freeman. One and 0 the count to Freeman. Pitch swung on. There's a little nubber down to the first baseman. He's going to glove it under. He's going to do it himself. Sanchez will tag the base, and down goes Freeman and the Dodgers. Hold on to your seats. Timmy Trumpets is about to make an entrance here, with Edwin Diaz just doing his final warm-up pitch, and he's now going to come in greeted by his song. Dodgers 4, Brewers 2, and Edwin Diaz coming into the game. The place is erupting to the sound of Timmy Trumpets, and up comes Contreras. Will be the first hitter he'll face, followed by Ortiz and then Hamilton. So it's the bottom of the order for the Brewers, trying to make something happen here against Edwin Diaz. So Diaz, against the Diamondbacks, gave up that walk-off home run, and then the very next night got out there and got the hitter that hit the walk-off home run the night before to hit into a game-ending double play. And now Edwin Diaz is out there in a big save situation, with the Dodgers leading 4-2. Once again, a big tip of the cap to all of you who decided to tune into this broadcast. Thank you so much. I'm on the verge, very close, of hitting 1,000 views. That's a big record here for me. Milestone record is 2,000, but 1,000, I've had about 3 or 4 of those, and very soon it'll hit that in this broadcast. So 78% now say Dodgers will win it. 3 outs to go in this game. Brewers down to their last 3 outs. And Contreras coming to the plate. Pitch to Contreras, taken for a called strike one, 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Pitch is way high, and the fastball for ball 1. Swung on and missed on the slider. The count is now 1-2 to Contreras. So Contreras, well, pitch is way high. Diaz trying to get something extra on that 95-mile-an-hour fastball, and luckily Rovert sprung out of his stance to catch it. 2-2 the count to Contreras. No outs. Brewers down to their last 3 outs. The pitch is taken for a called strike 3 right down the middle, and down goes Contreras. So Diaz mustering up a little bit extra on that one, and strikes out the man from Venezuela and sends him to the dugout. So 1 out. Dodgers now got 2 more outs to go to put this one in the W column. And standing at the plate is Ortiz. Pitch is taken for called strike 1 on the fastball. Fastball, 98-mile-an-hour fastball for ball 1 to Ortiz. The 1-1 pitch, there's a ground ball hit sharply, base hit into center field, and he's aboard. Pages will pick it up, and suddenly the tying run is coming to the plate as Ortiz scrambles back to first as Pages throws that in. So now with 1 on, 1 out, the Brewers aren't dead yet. Let's see if Diaz can turn a double play like he did in Arizona to get out of that game. We're in the 9th inning. 1 out, 1 on. The pitch swung on and missed by Hamilton. Hamilton 0 for 2 with a walk and an RBI. The tying run at the plate now. He's got to tease at first. The pitch way high and out of the strike zone. Fastball. It's now ball 1, strike 1. You just don't know what Diaz is going to serve up. Maybe a strike right down the middle or way high and outside. The 1-1 pitch on the way. Swung on and missed. A slider, and the count is 1-2. Hamilton helping out Diaz with that one. That was way out of the strike zone, inside out of the strike zone, but he swung and missed anyway, so it's 1-2. 1 out. We're in the 9th inning. Hamilton's backs to the wall right here as Diaz stares down to get the sign from Rovert behind the plate. The 1-2. Well, that pitch is inside for ball 2. That's same location where that pitch was at earlier that Hamilton swung and missed at. This time he had the discipline to lay off of it, and the count is now 2-2. The 2-2 pitch swung on. There's a shot and moves over at Pajes. It's a base hit. Now there's 2 men on. Ortiz hustling down to third base, and suddenly Diaz has runners at first and third, 1 out, and he's put himself in the world of trouble right here. He's got the tying run at first base. And we're going to the top of the order in Churio. Jackson Churio, 0 for 3 with a walk at the plate. Pitch is low and outside for ball 1. The pitch is taken for strike 1, 1-1 count. So Diaz struck out Contreras from Venezuela to get the first out. Now he's facing Churio from Venezuela, trying to get the second out. He's got 2 men on. The pitch low for ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike, 2 on. Runners at first and third, 1 out. We're in the 9th inning, and in the bullpen is Alex Vesia now warming up. Churio 0 for 3 on the evening. Diaz has thrown 18 pitches. This pitch is outside for ball 3, ball 3. A 97-mile-an-hour fastball misses. And Diaz is 1 ball away from walking. The base is loaded. 1 out. Churio, the pitch swung on and missed. He almost came out of his shoes swinging on that one. 98-mile-an-hour fastball. The count is now 3-2 to Churio. 1 out. We're in the 9th inning. 2 on. Dodgers 4, Brewers 2. The 3-2 pitch. So he swung at ball 4, but he poked it into right field for a base hit. In comes 1 run, and moving over to third, and now it's still runners at first and third. He got that right off the end of the bat and poked it into right field for a base hit. And Diaz now looks at the tying run at third base. Still no action from Roberts if he's going to come with a hook or what's going on. Meanwhile, warming up vigorously in the bullpen is Vesia. As by the time Tucker could pick that up, and out comes Pryor now to the mound to have a few words with Diaz. We're in the 9th inning. Dodgers 4, Brewers 3. Brewers were pretty much left for dead in this game, only scoring 2 runs on walks. And suddenly Diaz has pumped life into them, giving them mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, and helped this Brewers offense out drastically. Diaz has thrown 19 pitches. He's allowed 1 run in. He's only gotten 1 out. He's got 2 men on, and up comes Garrett Mitchell to the plate, who's 0 for 4. with a strikeout in the 7th inning. The pitch is taken for called strike one on a fastball, 98-mile-an-hour fastball. So Diaz now, after a few words of encouragement by Pryor, comes out smoking with a fastball right down the middle on that one. 4-3 score. The pitch is swung on. There's a poked base hit whacked in the right field. This game is tied. Tucker picks it up, throws it in. We're tied up at 4 apiece. As Diaz has totally turned this game upside down. What was a 4-2 Dodger cruising to victory. He's only gotten one out, and he's had a hit parade happen now for the Brewers. And JT's been screaming for the hook, and still to no avail. Last time I saw Robert sit on his hands like this, it was Cole Irvin at the on the mound. That's a pitch on the way. He's taken for called strike one. 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Meanwhile, the bullpen is McGill for the Brewers is already looking forward to coming up into the bottom of the 9th. 0-1 pitch is taken low for ball one. 0-1 the count to Sanchez. 4-4 tie, runners at first and second. A Dodgers challenge, and it'll be a strike, but barely. What a challenge by the Dodgers when you need it. Count is now 0-2. Dodgers winning that challenge. But the score's tied at 4-4. Brewers are content. They got life. Pitch is taken for called strike three, and down goes Sanchez. Now Sanchez is going to challenge. I think he's going to lose this challenge, and that'll be it for the Brewers on the challenge. Oh, yep, he'll lose the challenge. That'll be it. No more challenges for the Brewers the rest of the game. And they still haven't taken away that challenge on the scorecard there. And here comes the hook that JT's been screaming for, as Roberts now comes to the mound, takes the ball from Diaz, slaps him in the back, and there's now 2 outs, 2 on, and a timeout in the action. I'll be right back right after this. Okay, so you're right. Robert looks angry as he came out there to take that ball away from Diaz, and now Alex Vesia's in there trying to get this last out. Brewers have a runner at first, runner at second, scoring position, and a 4-4 tie. So Bauer's now facing Vesia. Bauer's on the evenings 0 for 3. Now that doesn't matter. Diaz made everybody get a hit of some sort. A lot of offers came up when Diaz was on the mound, and they walked away being 1 for something. Meanwhile, we're back to live action, and the pitch on the way is taken for a swing and a miss. A fastball A big swing and a miss by Bowers. It's now 0-1. 2 on, 2 outs. We're in the ninth and a 4-4 tie. Brewers getting up off the deck, scoring 2 runs in the ninth inning to tie this game up. The 0-1 pitch by Vesia swung on and fouled back. It's now 0-2. One more strikeout needed by Vesia right here, right now. So Roberts living the charmed life with a pinch hit home run, putting in Muncy, and he did just that in a key situation. But then he puts in Diaz, and he shouldn't have, and the results are a 4-4 tie. Pitches high for ball 1. So there's just goes to show you one great call and another bad call, and we're tied up at 4 apiece right now. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Bowers. 2 outs, 2 on, ninth inning, 4-4 tie. Vesia's 1-2 pitch on the way, swung on. There's a sharp ground ball, base hit into right field again. Rounding third and scoring, and the Brewers take the lead 5-4. Can you believe that? So Roberts shaking his head in the dugout. That's all he's left to do is shake his head. If he had listened to JT and given him the hook earlier, he probably wouldn't be in this situation. Meanwhile, the score is now 5-4 Brewers. And you're right. Thanks once again. Farazones is into the chat. Thanks, Brewers. Diaz, let's give him a Brewers jersey. You're right. Welcome into the chat. A late arriving. But, well, Vaughn now to the plate. Ball 1 served up by Vesia. 2 outs, ninth inning. Brewers now lead 5-4. 3 runs in the ninth. Pitch on the way is taken for called strike 1 on the changeup. 1 ball, 1 strike. Can you believe that? Brewers have come off the deck to score 3 runs in the top of the ninth inning to take the lead 5-4. Vesia's 7th pitch on the way. Way high for ball 2. And all Edwin Diaz can do is look on from the Dodger dugout. Two balls, 1 strike. The pitch swung on and fouled away. Two and 2 the count. 2 on, 2 outs. 5-4 Dodgers trail to the Brewers in the ninth. Pitch is way high. 93-mile-an-hour fastball. That's now full count. Brewers now have a runner at second base. Runner takes second base. Now we got first and second and third, runners at second and third, 2 outs. The pitch is way low and inside for ball 4, so Vesia walks the bases loaded. Vesia has yet to get an out in his 10 pitches. And up comes Yelich, the ever dangerous Yelich, is 1 for 4. Pitch is way outside for ball 1. And to think Edwin Diaz started this inning with a Contreras strikeout. He was cruising. He got the first guy, struck him out, and then the bottom fell out of it. There's a swing and a miss by Yelich on the 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Count is now 1-1. A very quiet Dodger Stadium. 1-1 pitch swung on and fouled back, partly due to half of them are left and the other half that are here are in stony silence, stunned at disbelief of what they've just seen. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Two outs, bases loaded, 5-4 Brewers lead, scoring 3 runs in the ninth. The pitch is way outside, missing with a fastball. It's now 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. 5-4 Brewers lead, bases loaded. The pitch is a foul ball. Yelich at the plate, hanging tough. Vesia came in with 2 outs and a 4-4 game, and he's yet to get an out. And he's thrown 15 pitches. Still looking for his first out in this inning. The 2-2 pitch, way outside for ball 3 on the slider. No word on who's working pitching in the Dodger bullpen. I have a feeling he's got to do it here. What do you think? He's due. 3-2 pitch. Swung on. There's a ground ball nicely fielded by Betts at behind second base. Throws over in the dirt, dug out by Freddie Freeman. And the Brewers are done in the 9th inning, but not before they score 3 big runs and take the lead. The score, as I lose my voice, Brewers 5, Dodgers 4. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. So for the Dodgers, in the 9th inning, it'll be Betts, Muncy, and Tucker trying to make things happen. Suddenly now the Dodgers' backs to the wall. We got a Brewers fan. The first time the whole game. It took us a while, but one Brewer fan steps up. Can you believe that? Bottom of the 9th inning, we got our first Brewers fan. Brad comes in with a big chant of "Let's go Brewers," as Braxton screams, "Find the strike zone, please." And we're now in the bottom of the 9th inning. Bottom of the 9th inning we go. Once again, thank you all for choosing this channel to check out this game action. Dodgers had this game in their hip pocket, and it just wormed away from them in that top of the 9th inning, giving up 3 runs, but trying desperately now to make a rally. And McGill now coming on, trying to shut down the Dodgers. Hard-throwing, big right-hand blonde pitcher on the mound now. 48 games. He's got a 2-2 record, 2.49 ERA. If you're enjoying the game, at least the play-by-play, give a thumbs up. If you're really enjoying it, subscribe to the channel. I'll be here all season long. Okay, so back to live action. Mookie Betts now coming up to the plate, trying to make something happen here for the Dodgers. Mookie had most of the night off and then was pressed into duty defensively, and he's out there now. Pitch is low, fastball for ball 1. Mookie hit a big home run last night. Pitch on the way is a high fly ball, lazily fly ball. Mitchell waiting out there in center field. He's there. He's got it for out number 1. The Dodgers are now down to their last 2 outs of the game. You got that right, Ferrazano. Diaz will not be very popular in the clubhouse later. Max Muncy, who was the man of the hour, speaking of popularity, when he popped that 3-run home run in the 6th inning to give the Dodgers the lead, now suddenly at the plate. First pitch, a knuckle curve taken for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. 9th inning. 1 out for the Dodgers in the 9th. Brewers 5, Dodgers 4. Swung on and missed a knuckle curve. It's now 1-1. This game figured at the outset to be a playoff preview, as the clock now is at 9:58 local time. Muncy hit that big 3 home run. Does he have another one in him? The pitch swung on and missed a high riding fastball. He was going to tie that game up with that swing if he got a hold of it, but he missed. And the count is now 1-2. And figures Diaz has gone home now. That would be something if he did pack up and leave. They did show a shot of him in the dugout. 1-2. The pitch on the way swung on, and it's actually not swung on. It's a bouncing ball. It bounced up to the plate. The count is now 2-2 to Muncy. 2-2 to Muncy. The pitch bounces again to the plate. The second pitch on a knuckle curve. It's now 3-2. Suddenly, Miguel is 1 ball away from walking the tying run on. Tucker is on deck. 3-2 the count to Muncy. The pitch. Strike 3 called. He took it, called, and Muncy is going to challenge. He has to. He figures it. He's going to lose the challenge as he does, and it's now 2 outs for the Dodgers, and they're down to their last out. And up comes Kyle Tucker. So Kyle Tucker, the last hope for the Dodgers right now. 2 outs, 9th inning. Tucker's 0 for 3, a strikeout and 2 ground outs, checking in now against Miguel. The pitch swung on and missed. A big swing by Tucker. Knuckle curve. Count is now 0-1. The 0-1 pitch is taken for called strike 2. Muncy's going to tap the helmet and ask for a challenge on that. And he'll lose the challenge. Now the Dodgers are down to their last strike, 0-2. To the count. The pitch is taken outside for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two outs, 9th inning. Brewers 5, Dodgers 4. The pitch is in the dirt, bounces up there. It's now 2-2 on the knuckle curve. Dodgers hanging on by a thread on life support with Tucker at the plate. 2-2 the count to Tucker. The pitch swung on, a high fly ball. Back goes the Bowers. He'll make the catch, and that'll do it for the Dodgers in this game. As the third out is recorded in the books. The finals, the totals. Dodgers, Brewers. Brewers win this game 5 runs, 10 hits, and 1 error. A lot of those hits came off of Edwin Diaz. Dodgers 4 runs, 4 hits, and no errors. Losing pitcher Edwin Diaz, he falls to the record of 2-2. His ERA is now 11.57. Hall gets the win. He goes to a 2-0 record, a 2.45 ERA. The save goes to McGill, his 22nd save, a 2.44 ERA. So the Dodgers lose it. They had the game. They gave up 3 runs in the top of the 9th at the hands of Edwin Diaz and Vesia. And the Dodgers lose it 5-4. So the final scores we see, I bid you a farewell. This game is over. Turn out the lights. Hope to see you all back tomorrow, 7:10, Friday night start, Dodgers and the Brewers. Have a pleasant good evening to you wherever you may be. Be safe out there. And hola and adios, as I see a fan from Mexico chimed in. Adios to you. A pleasant buenos noches to you wherever you may be. Good night now. Turn out the lights. This game is over.
Play what crazy game does it to many great plays, and now it's time to turn out the lights. The game is over. Bid you a pleasant good night and free you me, baby. Turn out the lights again. The game is all over for you. Turn out the lights, game's over. You think you can come and you do get up. The game and I don't like the game's over. He doesn't get up a man with the key. You deal with the stop, but nothing can last. And I got it, and give it over. I get it, don't they know when it's on. And that's your words.
Turn out the lights, the game's over. They say that all good games must end. Call it a night, the game's over. And tomorrow starts a new game. Never lost all, we're calling the play-by-play. What a crazy game. Never seen so many